Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Just Seen Podcast. And today, I don't know why I did that dramatic ass shit. Hey, look, and today, as you've seen from the title, we're going to be talking about, we're continuing on with the 12 laws of the universe, where we're going into law number 2, the law of vibration. This law is, and it is a law, it's about circular motion. This law is like, it's like kind of real, it's very mathematical. It's very mathematical, and it's mathematical to the context that most of what we're gonna talk about is gonna. I ain't gonna be breaking down formulas and no shit like that, but it shows how everything moves in circular motion. And I don't want to be cliche and be on some. This is one of my favorite laws because I'm gonna end up saying it for all of them, but um, so I won't because I want to save it for my real favorite law when it actually comes. If you heard the previous 12 laws, fuck all that. Look, we'll get into it. But the law of vibration, this is the law that is like next to the law of attraction. This is the one that is most frequently discussed and highly misunderstood. Um, what I hear a lot of people, if you were in the conscious community, if you're still out in the conscious community, but if you were specifically dabbling into the conscious community and wokeness, what it was before they got it shit gentrified with all these cookout invites, when you was actually fucking with it, it was when, you hear people say, yo, fuck with me when you get on my vibration or when you get on my frequency. So vibration and frequency are going to go hand in hand, but this is why I'm saying that it's going to be mathematical, because frequency is literally a mathematical function, right? It is specifically measured in hertz, but what it is cycles per second. It could be, I ain't gonna say second, cycles per unit of time. That's what it means to have a frequency, to be on cycles of a unit of time. Vibration is just the annotation, if you will, the naming of how these frequencies, although it is measured in hertz, is how these frequencies are set up, how the cycles move. So now, this is why it says life moves in a circular motion, right? Literally, life moves in a circular motion. Now, the law of vibration is going to show you how that circular motion moves and which way it's going to direct, right? Because you have the capacity to direct your vibration, whether you're going to be, oh, we want high vibes, we want low vibes, or whatever the case may be. When you see people say high vibes only or positive vibes only, those motherfuckers are, I ain't going to say they in violation of the law and shit, but they are trying to exhibit a law from one way. Now, when you understand piggybacking off the law of divine oneness, you know, it shows that from the one come the all, therefore the all is the one. Therefore, you're always going to be moving in constant motion going into the second law with oneness. You feel me? Now, when you understand from the one is the all is the one, and you can get to a point where you no longer start to see life from good or evil, good or bad, and shit like that, and you learn to see beneficial and detrimental, this law becomes easier to exhibit and use because now you know with the law of vibration, everything moves in a circular motion. Now, the direction is how the benefit and the detriment is established. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, you have people to say good vibes only, high vibes only, positive vibes only. In order for you to remain one, whatever the whatever the vibration is that you want, you will be exposed to the opposite vibration to maintain oneness. When that law is at play, when you are trying to be a good person, you are going, quote unquote, good person, you are going to experience a lot of bad things to see if you maintain that shit. When you are trying to be a bad person, you're going to gravitate towards a lot of good shit to fuck it up, right? And you're going to do it in a frequent way, according to the frequency. And this is what the law of vibration is. Because while it shows that the world moves naturally, nature, it moves within a circular motion. This circular motion is also identified as a cycle, and cycles can spiral up or they can spiral down. This is why when you see motherfuckers in a certain frequency of like insanity is a frequency, but when people are in a certain frequency, they be like, yo, this person is spiraling out of control. This person is spiraling down, or you know what I'm saying? Why do we never acknowledge spiraling up? Why do we never acknowledge spiraling into control? You know what I'm saying? We always look at it from the negative perspective because we're always trying to quote unquote behave and be good. And we don't realize that these two things have to go hand in hand, because you have to understand the full vibration, because oneness is about benefit and detriment being balanced with one another to create a life that you really need. So when we're looking at the law of vibration, again, this is some unchangeable shit. It's going to happen 100% of the time. The law of vibration will be at play 100% of the time. It's just a matter of how you understand the law of vibration and knowing how to move within the universe to make sure this law works for you and not against you. Because if you don't know how this law is at play, when this law is at play, you'll feel like you'll feel like the devil is busy. But yo, before we dive heavy into that shit, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Seen the Light. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of the podcast. Not the episode, but the podcast itself. And as always, Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And you know the vibes. That's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to come back into vibration. How did I name the first one? I said divine oneness. Something I don't remember. We're gonna come back and we're gonna dive into vibration. When we come back, we're gonna dive into vibration, the circles of life. And don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the Soul For Real series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the markets for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So take a quick peek into my world to see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it, and you will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. And without further ado, let's dive into this motherfucker. Hey, look, the only reason why I really started laughing this shit because it's like when I be hearing people say, yo, the devil busy, it's because you're on a demonic vibration. And a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that. They don't want to come to the terms with the reality that when you understand the law of divine oneness, you start to realize that, you know, everything in this life, you created yourself as an extension of what you see within source. You feel what I'm saying? And when you are vibrating with whatever manifestation of source that you are, you know, acknowledging, your life is going to turn out that way, right? So, like I said, we're going to start it off from the mathematical perspective because I hate when I'm talking this shit and motherfuckers be, oh, these motherfuckers, like, I ain't going to say I'm an anomaly or no shit like that, but I'm legit one of the few actual esoteric motherfuckers who can actually I'm gonna say it like this. I'm one of the few metaphysical motherfuckers in our bracket, not the elders, but I'm one of the few metaphysical motherfuckers. Well, even among some of the elders too. But I'm one of the few metaphysical motherfuckers who can actually show you the physical side too. Show you how it becomes metaphysical and why it must be on the physical side. So like I was saying, this is the law of vibration. It really uses a lot of math in it. I'm not saying you're going to have to go and get your papers and pens and start tabulating shit, but no, there's a lot of mathematical principles found within the law of vibration, specifically calculus. Calculus is one of those things that it really breaks down circles a lot, circles and cycles. But when we're taught about a circle, for one, you know, circles are 360 degrees. There is a 360-degree cycle continually moving in our lives at all times. Right? 360-degree cycle. Now, if you understand masculine and feminine geometry with squares and circles, you have two polarities of this particular 360-degree movement or vibration, if you will. Right? Because when you're looking at the law of vibration, it is solely about acknowledging that everything in life continually moves in a circular pattern. This is why I was talking about spirals. spiral up. This is why, like, when motherfuckers be like, yo, you didn't do a 180. When I tell motherfucker I did a full 360 in life, right? Motherfuckers be like, it's not 360, it's 180. You made a change. No, nigga, I made a full 360 because I started in a certain spiral and I came back to that. I started in a certain position and I circled back to that, and I've gone through the full circle moment. When you understand the tree of life is about bringing you to that full circle moment. Now, the reason why people look at cycles and circles a little bit differently and think that a circle is supposed to be complete, well, a circle is just like it starts and ends. There is no, this is why you got to understand the spirals too. But the circle is 360 degrees, the square is 360 degrees. But when we look at how the circle moves, right? When a circle is split and we're looking at cycles, that's when you get the sign, you get trigonometry basically, sines, cosines, and tangents. We're not going to consider the tangents. We're only going to consider the sines and the cosines, because if you actually break a circle, right, and you get a cycle, you have, when a cycle moves in a circular motion and it's broken in the way in which it's defined as a sine or cosine, it moves in a wave, right? Which means every cycle that we live in, so if we're looking at frequency as cycles per unit of time, but within that cycle, you have your sines and your cosines, which is you have your start, your high, your low, and your end. Every cycle has those phases. The law of vibration sees to it that every cycle has a start, has an end, has a high and a low. Because when you actually break a circle, you get a wave. You feel me? Now, when we're looking at physics, physics defines what waves are. Waves are just basically what? The movements of energy, right? Now, when a wave goes up and down, it is creating a cycle from a start, a low, a high, and back to a start again. That is still a circular motion. So when we talk about the law of vibration being at play at all times, whatever it is in life that you're experiencing, it's just how it has to work to keep you balanced. This is why the wave goes start, low, high, end, or start, high, low, end. Either way, you're going to have a high and a low within your circle, within your cycle. You feel what I'm saying? The goal is to understand the law of vibration so well that when you are at your low, when you start to vibrate towards the low, you know how to vibrate back up. And that's all vibration is. If you actually literally, from a basic perspective, you take a string and you pull it real hard and it starts to go boom. I don't know why I made the sound, but so you can visually see what I'm talking about. But you know how it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down until it levels out. That's the law of vibration, right? But the problem is that because we look at vibration from, I don't want to use religious perspective, so to speak, but I have to for the conversation's sakes. When we look at it from a religious perspective, where religion teaches us only to focus on good and evil, not benefit and detriment, when we see a low, we automatically assume the worst. When we see a high, we assume the best, and we can't get the opposite side on the inside of it. So this is why the circle is so important. This is why the cycle is so important, because there's a set duality within it. When you're at your lows, there's equally going to be positive and negative. When you're at your highs, there's equally going to be benefit and detriment. But when we're taught that our lows are bad and our highs are good, when we're in our highs and we see bads, we start to think, we see negative things or bad things, we start to think something's wrong. But when we see lows and we start to see bad or good things, sometimes we can stay in our lows because we can stay in the low space because the good side gives us hope, that it makes us perceive that we're in a high and we're not. You feel what I'm saying? You're in a cycle, and this is the frequency that you're in based off the law of vibration. So considering the 360 degrees, like I said, when we're looking at the vibration, we're looking at 360 degrees as a circular motion, right? Which makes it an infinite loop. This is why the cycles are so important, because it creates an infinite loop. The square, this is why I was talking about masculine and feminine. The square is also 360 degrees, and the square represents a finite loop. That's why there's only 4 points to a square, but a square and a circle makes the same things. This is why you square your circles and you circle your squares. So in essence, the square and the circle is the same thing, right? They're different shapes, but they represent the same thing, right? They represent 360 degrees. And by representing 360 degrees, they represent a full cycle, a full completed cycle. Now, is your full completed cycle going to be perfect or imperfect? Is it going to be finite or infinite, right? And this is what it means when people say, get on my frequency. Oh, this is what this is what is really meant by people saying get on my frequency, whether they know what they're talking about or not. Because I've learned that when people say, oh, you're not on my frequency, just like I said, because being in the conscious community, you start to hear cliches so much, and you ask the motherfucker, what does that mean? Well, you got to be able to think like I think, be on my level. No, what is your frequency? What is the repetitive notion of mentality that you're in on a regular basis? So now we're shifting the law of vibration solely to mindset, right? Because this is the thing that a lot of people fail to understand. All of this shit happens in your mind first before your reality comes in. I'm not going to get into the next law because that's really it's going to be law of correspondence. But that's how this shit starts. You build with your understanding of the one. From the one come the all. Now I know how to vibrate as the one. And by vibrating as the one, I am walking into frequencies, which are cycles of time, cycles per unit of time that are going to dictate certain realities for me. So before I can even think about how to shift my internal world or external world, my internal world has to be at a certain frequency. Now, when people say, well, frequency, they think frequency is, they try to tie it to intelligence. No, it's habit. It's discipline. It's cycles. It's what the fuck you do all the time. What you watch all the time. What you eat all the time. What you think all the time. We're smashed and locked into the very vibration that people, the forces that be, as they say, want us to stay in. When I talk to people all the time, and I try to tell them, they're like, well, when are these people? They're never gonna get punished for the shit that they do because they never violate the law of the universe. They put you in a vibration to exhibit a specific frequency. When they educate you, they want you to think a certain way. So that way your mind can create the frequency that they need you to operate on to keep their systems alive. We rather talk about commandments than actual laws. You feel me? We rather talk about commandments that tell you not to do something you know innately to do or not to do, rather than telling you about a vibration and a frequency of things that are going to, transpire into your life or not transpire into your life. Poverty is a vibration. Wealth is a vibration. I did a dramatic pause with that because a lot of people think they're like blessings are vibrations. Curses are vibrations. These are things that you have to create the cycles to live in. When people say it's hard to be yourself, or so, like when you're in survival mode, this goes into what I was talking about when I go to the chakras, especially the root chakra. The root chakra is based on foundation. It's based on your survival. Why would something want to keep you in the frequency of surviving? Because that's the vibration you live in. And if you live in that vibration, damn, I don't want to use too much from the next episode, but the law of correspondence is going to what follows the law of vibration. So when we're looking at poverty, when we're looking at people that say, I want to be wealthy, I want to be rich, look at their vibration. Some people don't know that they're continually exhibiting that vibration of poverty. Although poverty is something that they create to benefit themselves. There's a benefit to poverty for the wealth. Like people say it all the time. Like you'll get on social media and they'll say, there's no way a billionaire can make billions of dollars without being evil, deceiving, or exploiting the people. All that billionaire has to do is learn how to all that billionaire has to do is move into a vibration where people align with the vibration that it needs. They'll tell you all the time the best way to get, to capitalize in this world, to make the money in this world, is to cater to solving a need. The biggest needs that we have in the world, especially in America, is health, wealth, and relationship. All your social media platforms, anything, most of everything that you spend the most amount of money is going to be regarding to health, wealth, or relationship in some way, shape, or form. That is the vibration. Those are the three vibrations they keep everybody in. This is why capitalism works, because I keep you in a vibration of needing one of those three things. At least one of those three things, are always desiring one of those three things. I'm going to give you fucked up health because I'm going to tell you what to eat. You're in a vibration of bad health. So now you can either vibrate for good health, rather than eat fried chicken, eat grilled chicken. Nigga, it's the chicken, it's the vibration. I liked how I just segued into that because now I can piggyback onto the frequency side. And then I can get into spirals and shit. The chicken is the vibration. Now, are you going to vibe up or are you going to vibe down? Are you going to grill it or are you going to fry it? Apply that same principle to everything that you have in life. When you have not just chicken, but I'm saying how the vibration works, because there is no good or bad. There's benefit and detriment. We have gone beyond good and evil. This is not kid shit. We're at benefit and detriment. Therefore, you can find bad shit in beneficial moments, and you can find good shit in detrimental moments. You feel me? Hence the health system. You feel me? They give you sugar all day. Sugar is good. Sugar is also detrimental to you. You feel what I'm saying? It's fucked up because a lot of people don't know what sugars are. And that's crazy as fuck to me, because people say, they'll say, I don't want to be on carbs, but they don't stop eating sugar. Like, their doctor, and this is what fucks me up, and this is why I can't co-sign or be a part of this fucking system as far as the medical side, despite what I know. A lot of people keep trying to say, like, well, you couldn't know. You can't blow the whistle and stay alive, nigga. I don't know what part of that y'all don't get. Y'all watch documentary after documentary after documentary of a motherfucker going into the game, telling these motherfuckers, and then disappearing. You can't do it. Like, the fuck? This system is supposed to work because it honors and it moves within the law of vibration. Now, you can't go into the system and just break it. What you have to do is offset the vibration. Because now we're going into constructive waves. Back to the waves in physics inside. You have constructive and destructive waves, but you have a thing called interference. Interference is when two waves are opposing each other and they cancel each other out. So if something is vibrating negatively, I ain't gonna say negatively. If something is at a specific vibration right now, where this vibration in the moment is at the trough, which is the low basically, and then something comes with the vibration that is at the crest, which is the high, and these two vibrations hit at the same moment, it creates a neutral experience. It's called interference, and it creates a neutral situation. So if you're listening to sound waves, two sound waves can literally come together at the right moment on opposing sides and cancel each other out, and you hear no sound. This is one of the reasons why you hear me say silence is the loudest thing you'll never hear. When I say that, people look at it from, oh, this motherfucker is trying to... No, I'm not trying to sound mystical or philosophical. Silence is noise or loudness vibrating so high that you can't hear it anymore. You feel me? Frequency can reach a point where it gets so high that you can't hear it anymore. This is why they say the human ear can only hear between the spectrum of, I want to say, 20 to 20,000 hertz. Anything above 20,000 hertz, it can't hear. Anything below 20 hertz, it can't hear. No, 20,000 kilohertz. Well, 20 kilohertz, 20,000 hertz. Yeah. So anything above that, it can't hear. Doesn't mean that vibration isn't still going on, because it can be felt. But anything below that, it can't hear. But it doesn't mean that it cannot be felt. You feel me? As somebody who mixes music, when I do my quote unquote low end and shit, the low end is the anything below 50 hertz or whatever the case may be. Low end is where that bass rumble sits when your car knocks. If you heard it on your headphones, you wouldn't. But if you'll feel it in your car. Do you see where I'm going with that? But that's a part of vibration. And that's also a part of frequency. You know what I'm saying? But that's a part of what I was saying with silence. Silence can get so loud, or it can be so soft that you can't hear it. And silence can go in either way, in either perspective, in either direction. You feel me? Just like light and dark. Those are two frequencies. Things can get so dark that you can see, and things can get so bright that you can't. I know it seems like it doesn't make sense as far as the darkness goes, but no, that's literally how the frequency shit can work. You feel me? Because it's how these things resonate when they vibrate, right? So bringing it back, when we're looking at what they're doing to the world, they make it sure capitalism works because of health, wealth, and relationship. Everybody wants to be healthy, so they think. Everybody wants to be wealthy. Everybody wants a good relationship. Now, realizing that all of these things operate from vibration. They have to honor the law of vibration in order to be successful. Two things that they don't, and when we get into the law of vibration working consistently, wow, this is crazy, because this is going to open up the next self-real conversation anyway. When we're looking at how vibration works, the law of vibration begins and sets on routines and structures, schedules and systems. Nobody likes those words. Nobody likes the discipline to be structured enough to be on the law of vibration. I did a dramatic pause with that because you hear motherfuckers get on. I've dealt with women in my conscious past when I was like really, conscious heavy and fucking with the conscious community on some other shit. But I fuck with women of the past who would be on some shit like what they'll tell me is, oh, I like the frequency we on until it's time to actually see what my frequency is. I'm a consistent person who's going to be disciplined enough to do what I need to do in whatever medium I'm doing it in. Right? I'm going to do that shit. When it comes to that, even I ain't just going to say women because I don't want to seem like, I'm shitting on women and, because this is people who have, my homeboys who have wanted to do, certain entrepreneur things. And it's just like, yo, I want you to do like, you got to have a vibration for this. You got to have a vibration. Vibration is non-negotiable, my nigga. Vibration is beyond discipline. Vibration is you have to be on a vibration for what it is that you want. And you have to be willing to weather the highs and the lows to get you back in center. The slower it takes for you to go from your high, your slower your vibration is, or the slower your frequency is, the slower it takes for you to get to certain things. This is why when they say, he may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. And they use certain cliches, not realizing that they're speaking towards the law of vibration and how benefit and detriment works for their life. Every vibration, you can speed up the frequency in which vibration occurs in your life. Literally. And I'm saying it like that because I've been watching British movies and shit. Like, I don't know why, but I just have. But the law of vibration is built like that. You feel me? When people are my bad, I was looking at this trade right here. Vibration shit. My frequency. I'm always trading. I'm always doing these things. But the vibration that people are overlooking, the vibration that people don't want to necessarily be on, is they don't want to take the accountability for the vibrations that they create. And vibrations are built upon circular motion. They're built upon cycles. And how well you're willing to identify a cycle is how well it's going, and how well or how poorly it's going to move in your life. I'm going to break it down like this. Case in point. When we talk about people saying, he may not come when you want him, but he's always on time, they're on a very slow vibration for the things that they want in life. When you find people that you see it, everything just happens for you. It just works out in your favor. Everything doesn't work out in somebody's favor until they're on the vibration of favor. This is why when I hear religious people say favor ain't fair, yes, the fuck it is. Favor is a vibration. Favor is a vibration. And with everything being in a vibration, it is basically an input and output and what you continually do. So when a motherfucker says, get on my vibration, what is your vibration? We're not on the same vibration. We're not in the same frequency. What things are we doing on a regular basis that make us align with each other? Again, back to health, wealth, and relationship. The relationships that we need to be on need to vibrate. First off, we have to relate. We relate to our vibrations. They have taught us to go seek our opposite. And we wonder why we get. I've been saying this for years. If you've been following me from the old page before it got shut down, I've been saying this for years. Opposites attract and neutralize each other. I don't know why that's so difficult. You feel me? But motherfuckers like, I don't want to be with somebody who's like me because that would be boring. Think about that. Why would that be? Why would your life, that means you hate your own life. If you think that being with somebody who's just like you is boring, you don't like who you are. The vibration that you're naturally sitting on, you do not like, and it's yours. The shit you do every single day, the shit that you do every moment, every second, every unit of time is your vibration. That law is going to be at play at every time. So if that produces boredom for you, and if you think that would produce boredom with somebody else, you vibrate at a very sucky level. And this is not to say like levels and tiers and shit like that, but no, your vibration is boring. If you think that being with somebody who's just like you is boring, but you can only be a successful relationship only works when you actually relate to that person. So one or two things have happened. Either you have nothing to relate to, or what you relate to you don't like. So when you see that in someone else, you don't like it. Wow, you don't even vibrate at a frequency that's positive enough or good enough to actually love who you are. That's crazy. But again, it's exploited this way because the law of the vibration makes sure that people only focus on these three things: health, wealth, and relationship. That's how the capitalism has to work. I'm going to exploit these three needs out of the people and make sure they continually vibrate at a space where I can, like, come on, think about how can you really get. This is something that I really want to address, and it's going to relate to the law of vibration. How can you really receive counseling from a coach about love when love is a vibration that you have to understand? Like, when somebody can coach you into doing something that is supposed to be unique to you, are you really unique to yourself anymore? You are now going against the law of oneness when you're not doing what's natural to you, when you're not able to vibrate on what's natural to you, my nigga. This is crazy. So now what frequency are you in? Now I'm going to create the frequency for you to vibrate a certain way. Again, health, wealth, and relationship. But how do I get that? Sorry, I got an eyelash in my eye. How do I get to that point where I dictate the vibration so much that I don't want to go into law of correspondence. I got to say that for next week. I dictate the law so much that I control the vibration that now dictates your world. You feel me? Every day I'm going to give you a genre of music. I'm going to give you a genre of music that you're going to listen to every single day. I don't hear the words. I just like the beat. And now you wonder how you turned into a YN. You feel me? Like, niggas is 30, 40 years old talking about, you a YN. 40 and 50. You're not Y, homie. The whole premise of being a YN is you have to be the Y first. You feel what I'm saying? But motherfuckers is still 30 and 40 years old, dressing, acting, and carrying themselves in the same mannerisms. But listen to their music. Watch the things that entertain them. Entertainment is so potent because that is how your vibration is founded. The shit that entertains you, there's two means, there's two perspectives that will determine your vibration. The foundation for your vibration is both your entertainment and your education. I'm going to say that one more time. The foundation of your vibration is your entertainment and your education. We are in both an entertainment world and an education system created by motherfuckers that do not want you to think. So when you are in a space where you're educated and you're bragging about being well educated, you're going to be in a specific vibration that is dictated by this particular world. This is one of the reasons why I always talk about knowing words and knowing language and shit like that, because words and language are the only ways. Language as a whole, but words specifically, are the only ways that you can break any spell that is placed on you to keep you in a specific vibration. Let me hear the words that you speak on a regular basis, and I can pretty much tell you what your vibration is. You dig what I'm saying? Because now, when it comes into words, words create images in your mind. The images in your mind are your imagination. What you can see in your mind creates your reality, but that's the tone set by your vibration. The shit you can readily draw on in your mind is what your vibration and your frequency is on. And I'm glad we opened this up, and I'm glad this went into it, because we can go into one of my favorite conversations that kind of annoys me. But we got to motherfucking have it, and that's pause. What a vibration. Now we're going back into vibration. Vibration is about the highs and the lows and how fast it can move. What vibration do you have to be on mentally where you're so wired to anything that you feel is quote unquote suspect, you yell pause at it? You have a gay interpretation of whatever image is now formulated in your head is derived from words that you hear. And as soon as you hear those words, you say pause instantly. How quick did that image formulate in your mind? That is vibration. That is how the law of vibration works. That is how the motherfucking law of vibration works. Now, we're going to run a quick experiment because, like I said, math ties into this shit. You have the speed of light and you have the speed of sound. The speed of sound is 343 meters per second. The speed of light is 3.0 times 10 to the 8 meters per second square. For something to move 343 meters per second, which is the word, you feel me? You hear that, and eventually, instantly, you formulate the image. Not even just the light goes off. The entire image goes off. 3.0 times 10 to the 8 meters per second squared. That's how fast that point is. So from 343 meters per second up to 3.0 times 10 to 8, like, that's how quick words go in the image. Thought moves faster than light. This is how, look how fast this shit is when the vibration is right. When you hear something wild, you say, yo, let me get a 6-inch. Instantly you say pause because instantly you saw it digging right from your mouth. You heard it, it went up, came down, and you said pause instantly. Do you see how fast that is? Do you see how fast that happened? That you said pause soon as the words almost like, that's how fast light moves. But even deeper than that, that's how fast thought moves. Half the time, they didn't even finish the sentence before you were already screaming pause. How did you get programmed for that? Because you sat in a specific vibration that continually taught you that. When it started for us, it changed into pause, but it started off as no homo. When I was a kid, we would say, when I was a kid, I mean like about 14, 15 years old, up until 18. I think it started, I'm pretty sure it started with the Dipset era. So I had to be about 14 or 15, right? Nigga, no homo. No homo. Pause. No homo. No homo. How do you even formulate a gay thought if you're not gay? Now, when I tell people that there's 3 types of men in this world, you have heterosexual men, you have homosexual men who don't like vagina, you have homosexual men who do. We're in a frequency right now, tying it back into the relationship side, because that's the only thing why don't relationships work? Women, I want y'all to hear me. My brothers, I want y'all to hear me too. Because there's 3 types of women. There's heterosexual women. There's heterosexual women. There's homosexual women who don't like vagina. And no, I'm going to say it, keep it in parallelism with what I'm saying. There's heterosexual women. There's homosexual women who like dick. And there's homosexual women who don't. Okay? The relationship game and why people keep saying, why does this shit not work? Because the bulk of the people are already wired to be homosexuals who like the opposite genitalia. I know, it sucks. It sucks like a motherfucker because people are wondering, well, why can't, because it's 2 gay people who just want to have sex. They don't know that they're gay because they haven't declared, well, I haven't done anything with the same sex, so how am I? You're programmed to a homosexual society. That's the vibration to keep us in. They kept boys and girls separate since we were kids. Since we were kids. This is by design because now we go back to that episode that I was talking about, the fucking Roman Empire. That's what the Roman Empire was built on. Pedophilia and homosexuality. I don't make the rules. I just report them. You feel me? When you look at, go study Alexander the Great. His whole platoon was homosexual men. Get to the nitty gritty of it. His whole platoon was homosexual men. A lot of them were lovers that were fighting for each other. Because it was greater camaraderie or whatever the case may be, blah, 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 blah. If you watch 300, I ain't gonna say the Greeks and Spartans and shit were gay or whatever the case may be, but if you watch 300 and then you watch the parody Meet the Spartans, and it starts to show, they reveal some of the truth, but they don't. Hollywood is very powerful because what Hollywood does is it creates, it respects the law of vibration, but it dictates which law of vibration you want, but it doesn't take away your free will. You don't have to watch none of these movies. You don't have to watch the TV. You don't have to read none of the information. You don't have to go to the education system. You can put yourself in a position to entertain yourself. You can put yourself in a position to educate yourself. But we've already created a vibration that makes you not want to do it. So when you first go to school, we already created homosexuality for you. Now, are we going to create the homosexual? Now, it's like you have to divide yourself. You're going to create the homosexuals who like the opposite genitalia and those who don't. Like, motherfuckers be thinking, like, no, everybody's programmed to be gay. I know. It's like this, and this is why it's so easy for motherfuckers to say, I was born gay. You weren't. We're in a system that puts us on a vibration to be gay. And it creates one of the three people. The homosexual who likes the homosexual who likes the opposite genitalia, the homosexual who doesn't like the opposite genitalia, and the heterosexual person. The heterosexual person is the person that keeps heterosexual person is likely the person that's getting outcasted. I don't do what everybody else do. Like, promiscuity is a function oftentimes of homosexuality. And especially amongst men, you can tell a man who has to have it all the time, something might be wrong with him. You can see a woman who has to have it all the time, something might be wrong with her. It's different. And now you have people saying, you know what, I'm done trying with this sex, let me go with the other one. A heterosexual person, that doesn't cross their mind. It's not even something to try. You feel what I'm saying? And this is not a shit on the people. I'm speaking like, y'all, this is the law. Y'all wanted me to tell y'all the truth, so I'm going to tell y'all the truth. This is the law of vibration at play. You feel me? This is the law of vibration at play. Now, we're programmed from the beginning, before school, before all of that. Like, church starts it. I don't know about white churches. I just know about black churches. The boys and the girls can't be together in any way, shape, or form. Why would that be a thing? Why would that be a thing? And then you wonder why motherfuckers be closeted and come out like you can't. Like, I hear niggas say all the time, you don't even realize the vibration and the frequency that you're saying. My girl can't had no boyfriend until she 18. She can't do this. She's going to get got by the time she's 12. Because when her hormones start kicking in and she's around girls all the motherfucking time, she going to eat some pussy. She going to try it. You feel me? When my sons, they can't be around them girls because you got to be careful. Naturally, we're all born heterosexual. But because the vibration, the law of vibration is at play and the frequency is already so so why it can appear that, yo, we're born homosexual. You can be born. No, you can't be born homosexual because you have to be born with a memory in order to do that. And I know it's like, well, how can you be born heterosexual? Then it's like, you can look across nature. Any creature naturally knows how to procreate. It naturally knows how to gravitate and treat the opposite sex a certain way. Male birds would do a mating ritual across the board. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not a social construct. It is not a social construct. What has become a social construct is the vibration that has been placed on us. And now that frequency constantly showing. Now they've gotten to a point where they've already planted the seeds. Like, I be seeing like religious people when they see a sex scene come up on the TV or whatever, it's two gay people kissing or whatever the case may be. They be like, oh my gosh, here they go pushing this agenda. The agenda was already pushed. This is just easy for the agenda to be shown. The agenda was done when you didn't want your boys and girls to be in the same space. The agenda was born back in the day when you started having all female or all male schools. The agenda was born when the Romans decided we're going to control this motherfucker forever. And I get it. A lot of motherfuckers keep trying to say the Roman Empire fell. It's no empire falls and their religion stays strong. Study any form of history. Any empire that has collapsed, the religion went with them. And if it didn't go with them, it was turned into mythology and studied. Right now, in the 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, in high school, you will study Greek epics. You will study Greek mythology. Right fucking now. Why? Because there's certain literature that they want you to understand without telling you why you need to understand it. Now, when I tell you religion is broken down into 3 phases, mythology, ritual, and allegory, this is what the fuck I mean. Christianity right now, Islam right now, those are both Roman mythology. And I get it. No, the Arabs ain't Roman or whatever the case may be. Look at the characters of Christianity. All they do is change the pronunciation of the fucking names. The stories are the same, and there's a derivation between Isaac and Ishmael. It's all Abrahamic religions. It's all Abrahamic religions. Regardless of how you choose to decorate it, whether you're choosing to use Muhammad or whatever, like, it's all decorated the same way. But it all promotes the same shit. Then I get it, and they're like, well, why would they, if they was against homosexuality, I mean, if they promote homosexuality, why are they? Because now I can sell you salvation. You ever wondered why, of all of the sins that niggas can commit, why do motherfuckers hate homosexuality so much? Why are you so pressed for that one? Because I can create a different level of shame that I can shape your personal identity off rip. And now, if I know that I already have a vibration to make sure that I want this world created this way, it's easy. It's easy as fuck to sell a religion to you. I will have motherfuckers force you into it. I was watching Power, Raising Kanan, and I think it was like season 2 or something like that. Jukebox Mama came. She was a very religious lady, and she met Jukebox, and Jukebox was gay. And you feel me? They took Jukebox to church and beat her, bro. Like, they beat her. They said, we got to beat the demon out of you. We got to cast it out of you. It's like, damn, homie. Damn, homie. This vibration is crazy. Because this same Christianity, this same religion will create the very shit that is condemning. You'll separate. You won't teach anybody. You won't teach them about actual sexuality. You won't teach them about nothing. You just hope that one day it'll be planted in their head so you can absolve yourself of the responsibility, and they'll never have to experience it or experiment with it, and they'll just suddenly know how to do it. But all your life, you're keeping them away from each other. These are cults, my nigga. These are cults. And these cults are established under the laws of vibration. Again, they go unpunished simply because they don't violate a law. They do not violate a universal law. And that's what makes it so fucking scary, because it's like, when you start to transcend certain shit, you realize, dog, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do in this world. You just have to be able to deal with the consequences. But to absolve yourself of the consequences, you can't take away a person's free will. When I used to look at the commandments, and it's like, the number one thing underlying of every commandment or every hadith is always the same shit that people don't realize. It's like, when you tell a motherfucker not to do something or whatever the case may be, is you can't take away a person's free will. Murdering somebody is taking away their free will. Stealing from them is taking away their free will. Lying to them is taking away their free will. You're not giving them the choice to even have an interaction with what you're doing to them. All you keep hearing is get into the markets. But do you trade or do you invest? Should you do stocks, Forex, crypto, or NFTs? My personal answer is not a single one if you don't know how to read a chart. Without knowing how to read a chart, you end up giving all your money to those who do. Do you know what a candle is? Do you know the pocket of activity? Do you know the difference between market direction and market control? If you answer no at least once, you might want to learn how to read a chart first. Learning how to read a chart will let you know if you should trade or invest, and if you should do stocks, Forex, crypto, and or NFTs. It will also let you know if this is even for you or not. So visit IamJustSeen.com to learn how to read charts with my Mastering the Market course, ebooks, and webinars today. The world is changing. The question is, will you adapt with it? That's crazy. But when you give them the choice to agree to it, it no longer nullifies the situation. This is why money is what it is. Money is the buffer that makes all of this shit work so well. Money is the buffer that makes I created this vibration for this specific entity, and I made you think it's real. And I made enough people think that it's real that they think they have to have it. And because they think they have to have it, now they don't know what they're so I'm going, in order to keep them away from wealth, I'm gonna make sure they have money, but I'm gonna keep them away from wealth. Because I'm gonna tell them that it's evil. The love of this thing is evil. No. You're already evil. Now you're enhancing the shit with the shit that's the enhancer. You feel what I'm saying? But that's how this shit is structured. You feel me? You can't condemn what you condone. But the law of vibration sits in such a space that it continually puts the very things into your life that you condemn, and you don't realize why you're exhibiting them. Because now when you understand the phases when you understand the full mind, this is why I gave you Soul 3. This is why I gave you the breakdown, knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, belief, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This is why, conscious, subconscious, unconscious. Like, this is why I gave y'all the full breakdown of the mind. I get it. Psychology teaches you about the iceberg of the shit. No, when you get to the full principle and the core of it, you understand that the mind is literally, that's the labyrinth that creates the mind. Belief, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, then emotion and thought. That's the mind. That's what separates and keeps you between your spirit and your thought. But when I have all those components wrapped up into a vibration I want it to be in, I control you. I don't need a metal helmet. I don't need a metal helmet. All I need is either trauma or euphoria, and I can control you for the rest of your life. Trauma is far more easier to put a motherfucker in when you're oppressing them. If I'm going to oppress you, I'm not going to give you euphoria because that gives you hope. I'm going to give you trauma because that takes your hope away, while constantly telling you to fight for hope. Use hope as the very fuel that keeps you going, while I keep traumatizing you to shape your mind to put you in a vibration I need you to be in. I don't know how long y'all have been traveling with me on this, or how many episodes you listen to, but I mentioned reading this book by William Sargent called Battle for the Mind. And in the book, he talks about experiment with a scientist by the last name of Pavlov. They call them Pavlov's dogs. The dogs were traumatized, basically. And they were traumatized in such a way that their minds were shaped to where they were fed and deprived, but they would be fed to a bell. It got so wrapped up that they would hear a bell and salivate, and there would be no food. Because every time they rung the bell, they'll feed them. Every time they rung the bell, they'll feed them. Every time they rung the bell, they'll feed them. Then they start taking it away. And they was traumatizing them, but every time they heard the bell, they salivated because they knew food was coming. No food ever came. But every time they heard the bell, they salivated because their mind was already wired to that vibration of hearing this sound. That's just the bing. Imagine what the fuck happens when your mind is wired to a vibration that is heavily entertained by what you're not supposed to be entertained by, and educated by motherfuckers who want to maintain your oppression. So now when it's easier to control a traumatized people, because now I can shape your mind by giving you hope. And when I shape your mind by giving you hope, guess what else I can sell you? Salvation. And I know people say they don't sell salvation. They sell salvation for free. Free is very expensive. I don't think y'all motherfuckers really get that. Free costs a lot. Free costs a lot. And if you're not willing to see how much free really costs, it's gonna bang you over the head. You feel me? Free costs a lot. And I think people really need to understand that. But they put you into a vibration where, as long as this law is, I can create the necessary frequency to control them however long I want to control them. Now, when I say frequencies are per units of time, this is why you move a certain way. Because it could be a week, it could be a day, it could be a month, it could be like you don't find it odd that everybody has bad Mondays. Like, that's a vibration, my nigga. To be in a space where you feel a certain way about a day. Only this one day. After that day passes, you back good. When Tuesday, I'm back in motion, blah, blah, blah. I'm excited again by Friday. Sunday, I'm like, why is Monday so bad? Because there is a vibration there. And your mind is wrapped up in that vibration to where you exhibit the very behavior. And you don't even know that I'm controlled to hate Mondays. I'm programmed to hate Mondays. Why do I hate Mondays? And I get it. Well, my job, so how does everybody's job across the board, no matter what shift you working, why is Mondays always so fucked up for you? That's not an accident. That's a vibration, my nigga. That's a vibration to make you feel a certain way. But then I create the vibration with the highs and the lows. Monday starts you off low. Wednesday is hump day. I think we don't look at why it's called hump day. Go and study sines and cosines, and you will see you go from the crest, which is the bottom, up to the trough and back down. You start to normalize. Start off on Sunday. We're not even going to start off on Monday. We're going to start off on Sunday because there's 7 days in a week. 7 days in a week. Sunday is the first day. That's the starting point. Starting with Monday, you go down into the valley, into the crest. Monday up until Tuesday starts to pick up. Wednesday's hump day, it starts to go up. Thursday and Friday, it brings it back down to Sunday. You make a full cycle from Sunday to Sunday. That is one full cycle. That is one full frequency. That is one full vibration. That is one full crest. That is one full start, trough, crest, and low. Start low, high, and end. I'm talking forex and trading and shit. I shouldn't have, whatever, because I got a trade running. That's why I'm thinking like that. But you have a start point, you have a low, you have a high, and you have a start point. If you study forex, I'm glad we opening this up because fuck it, we already in it. If you study forex, if you study stocks, you study crypto, whatever, and if you learn from mastering the market, whatever the case may be, what is a candle? Not only what is a candle, right? Candles have an open, a high, a low, and a close. What is the pocket that I always show you how to break down? A start, wall, and an end. And you're waiting for a pullback to continue the start, wall, and the end to create another one. Next time you look at your pockets, look at that wave. Everything moves this way. When I started to look at and study, just when JP Morgan Chase, the nigga said, millionaires use accountants, billionaires use astrology. And I was like, oh, you niggas move on cycles. That's it. You respect the law of vibration. Now, with this law of vibration, I can control the cycles of the people. You're going to work a 9 to 5. That's a vibration. You're going to go to school from 7 to 3. That's a vibration. I'm going to put you in a space where you're in a vibratory space where you can't even be human anymore. You can't even be human anymore. Women got to go right back to work. When women fought for the bullshit that they fought for, a lot of people don't like something that I've learned about the whole not so supremacist structure is just like it's men trying to maintain power, but it's like we got to realize these are homosexual men that are running the game. And we be thinking, oh, they got kids and shit. Like, again, tying it back to the frequency, you have 3 types. Why do you think it's so imperative that every time you get a black figure, every time you get one of our figures that are in like entertainment, that are some kind of public figure that can actually affect change within people, you have to be emasculated. I talk about this in Soul 1. You have to be emasculated physically to where it's like, oh, put on a dress, kiss a woman, kiss a man, have a gay scene. Women got to go through it too. There has to be some kind of humiliation ritual every single time because a humiliation ritual is designed to put you in a certain frequency. Because whatever this humiliation ritual does to you, no matter what it plays out in the back of your mind, you're going to exhibit that. You know why? Because, and this is why they tell you to be humble. Niggas think humble is a good thing. It's not, my nigga. When somebody tells you to be humble, they're telling you to take your own humiliation ritual. Go figure. Do something to make yourself insignificant, or something will make you insignificant to it. I've already programmed you to the frequency to where when you start to feel yourself and you gain confidence, you personally will sabotage your own shit. You personally would do something because you know you have to be humble. Or if you don't do something to yourself, you won't push yourself to the actual limit because you have to be humble. You won't push yourself to your actual greatness because you have to be humble. That's a vibration. My nigga, niggas be thinking I got imposter syndrome. No, nigga, you have a humble vibration. That's not imposter syndrome. You have a humble vibration. Like I was just posting the other day when I was telling people, you're not an introvert. You're well behaved. That's it. Ooh, when I go into, I get social anxieties. I get overstimulated. No, you're not overstimulated. You're in a space where you're seeing somebody not behave where you're told you always have to behave. And it's been that way since you were a kid. Now you've been dealing with motherfuckers who just never gave a fuck. Oh, this person was always bad. This person don't know how to act. Now that shame of a culture now comes into it. Because we operate on a vibration. This is why you niggas be saying stupid shit. Like 1, inviting motherfuckers to the cookout just because they got a little rhythm. Or 2, this is what pisses me the fuck off. Because a motherfucker can dance and be on 1 and 2 for 5 seconds. You will invite them to the cookout, but you will literally say that your people set you back 500 years for doing one small thing. How? There's a vibration there that we don't really want to look at. Colorisms, vibrations. Self-hatred, vibrations. All of these things are vibrations, my nigga. Stop looking at it as, oh, why are things the way they are? When can it change? It won't change until you change the vibration. You can't change the vibration of another motherfucker. When we look at what we want to do with our people and we say, yo, I want to help my people, I want my people to heal, your people don't even want to be on the right vibration. I've learned this. I've learned this. This is why I put all my shit out and I just do what I do and I dip. Because I've learned that they're not on the they want the results, but they're not on the vibration for the path that it'll take to get there. They don't want to be on a vibration because you have to reconstruct and deconstruct so much of your mind to create a new vibration. It takes too much work. Some of us are 30, 40, and 50 years old. We're past the prime to be creating new vibrations. Past the prime to be creating new vibrations. Your nutrition, the way in which you eat, that's a vibration. The way in which you can respond and have preset responses are due to vibrations and frequencies of shit that you heard every single time. Niggas be so autonomous, they don't even be thinking when they respond to certain shit. I was arguing on threads. Like, I like to argue. I'm gonna tell you right fucking now. I like to argue with people. And it's not that I like to argue in a way in which I'm trying to demean or belittle you. I like to argue in a way in which we're coming to consensus and development, and we're gaining resolution. I like to argue in that context. You dig what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like to argue with that because they're so used to having preset responses. So I simply said, I made a post and it's like I had an option, either argue or educate. I chose to educate this time while arguing. So I made a post and I was like, right now you're an ancestor in training. Will you be called on or will you be ignored? So somebody came and was like, yo, fuck you and the ancestors. Whoa, nigga, this is threads. I get it. You're tough. Let me say this too, right? I'm on a vibration where I beat niggas the fuck up. I've always been on a vibration to beat motherfuckers the fuck up. I don't fight no more because motherfuckers, you don't know who's really gonna fight, no matter how tough they talk. Social media has given y'all, social media has allowed y'all to say shit that y'all wouldn't say in real motherfucking life. You feel what I'm saying? Motherfuckers will beat you the fuck up if you said some shit like that in real life. But you niggas is tough. I let you have it. So he was like, yo, fuck you and the ancestors. I had an opportunity to either, again, educate or respond a certain way. So he's like, he said, fuck you and the ancestors. So I was like, all right, what? I said, damn, what the fuck we do to you? I don't even know you, bro. And he's talking about, yeah, sold us off in it. He said, y'all sold us off in this. I said, well, if the prophecy, this is what I be getting at. Y'all gotta leave motherfuckers alone just because you think they don't know shit. Don't assume that you know everything that you know is all there is to know. Cause I'll fuck around and have you deleting your shit. And now you can't, why you stop responding? Let's go. Let's go the distance since you want to play that role. So anywho, he says, fuck the ancestors or whatever the case may be. So we go back and forth and I'm like, oh, you an Israelite. He said, yep, proud of it or whatever the case may be. And fuck your ancestors because they this, that, and the third. I said, look, watch yourself. But I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I said, why are you going to blame my ancestors for something your deity said y'all got in trouble for because y'all didn't listen? Y'all can't put that on us. Y'all can't put that on us. Deuteronomy, and I said Deuteronomy 28 says you niggas didn't listen. You niggas didn't do right. You niggas did fucked up. So I said, don't blame me and my ancestors, nigga. Go take that up with yours. Y'all hard-headed motherfuckers, yo. Y'all the niggas that didn't fucking listen. It wasn't us. We ain't have absolutely nothing to do with y'all. Your deity said that y'all were going to be punished and shipped off as slaves to a distant land because y'all didn't listen. You blaming the motherfuckers that. So then he tried to give an example. If your kid don't listen and you send them off to I said, why would I allow my kid to punish? Why would I allow my kid to be punished by an enemy of mine when I could just discipline my kid myself? And then furthermore, why would I punish my kid and then have somebody else punish them right after I did it? I say, it sounds like you in an abusive relationship with your deity and you don't know it yet, bro. You feel me? All his comments got deleted. Just like that. He deleted everything. I said, no, don't backpedal now. You feel me? Because we on different vibrations. Niggas be thinking that just because we in the same space that we in the same place. We're not, my nigga. We're not. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm no longer going to be in a place where I'm going to allow y'all to feel like y'all are on my level if you're not. I tried that shit. And this goes into the vibration, because when you start to be on a certain vibration of, I want my people, some of your people cannot vibrate to where you are. Some of the people around you cannot honor the law of vibration the way in which you use the law of vibration. Some people can only rely on the law of vibration to the capacity in which it was given to them. Some people don't even know the law of vibration is at play. They think these are miracles and curses. They think these are accidental acts of deities, bro. They don't know that this is the law of vibration created by humans. This is why I tell y'all a deity is the highest conceptualization of the mind. And curses and blessings, especially generational, are just the frequencies and the vibrations of what it is. They tell you all the time in certain shit. But if you can break the vibration, you can break the problem. But they don't tell you that it's the vibration you gotta break. It's telling you, you need salvation. We need to save you from the vibration that we put you in. That's the meanest, cleanest hustle I've ever seen in my life. Like, on God and them, bro. We create the vibration that we're going to tell you that you need salvation from. We're going to create the very trauma and the circumstances and give you the solution to the shit. I'm going to throw a brick through your window and I'm going to sell you the glass. Aren't you glad that I was here with glass? Fuck the fact that I threw the brick through your window. Aren't you glad that I had the glass? Yes, I'm glad that you had the glass. But why did you? Don't worry about why I threw the brick. I had glass. You need it. Like, think about this. Sticking with this metaphor. This is a vibration that you're stuck on. I'm going to tell you not to worry about the brick. You're going to ask a lot. Well, why did you throw a brick? It doesn't matter. Like this, it doesn't matter. You needed glass. I wanted to show you, and then even deeper, I'm going to show you how weak your glass is. Never is it going to cross anybody's mind in this conversation that, nigga, you could have left my fucking glass alone. You didn't even no. I wanted to show you how weak your glass is. And because your glass is so weak, it can't withstand a brick. But now I'm going to give you this glass. Because I got some glass. And my glass could probably withstand this particular brick. You feel me? I'm going to sell it back to you and make you feel good about the shit. I'm going to create the problem and sell you the solution. How can I sell you the solution? I have to know the problem in order to sell you the solution. I got to know the problem well enough to be able to sell you the solution. Tying it back into how capitalism works. Y'all see how I bring all of this shit full circle. You have relationship, health, and wealth. Those are the three things that people get. Those are the only three things that we spend our money on. Any of those three things that you not spending money on and you getting for free, that right there is the vibration that you want. That right there dictates the vibration you want to stay on. I was just seeing this viral video going around where this young lady was saying about how, we in the black community, we go and we get the information and then we sell it back to our people instead of just giving it to them. Why would we give it to you? You don't make nobody else just give it to you. But your own people have to give it to you. Why? Because we your people. That makes no fucking sense. Do you see how poverty is a vibration? I don't feel like my people should be able to do anything to acquire wealth. In any way, shape, or form. You do things according to poverty, which is what? Offer free shit because we only get free shit. We only take free shit and find the value in free shit. We love convenience because convenience is a vibration. Convenience is so wild because it's a vibration that makes you feel more important than you really are. Convenience is a vibration that makes you feel far more important than you are because you are now operating in a frequency, cycles, per unit of time in which everything you do is convenient. So much so that when you're inconvenienced, you feel like when you're inconvenienced for a product that you cannot produce, but you can only consume, you are upset at the person who's no longer producing it for you because you can't produce it yourself. How can you really be upset at that person? You need to be upset at yourself that you're lost in a vibration that doesn't allow you to be able to do the very thing that you're saying is inconveniencing you. It's not inconveniencing you. It's exploiting your deficits. shouldn't have to wait this long for some fries. It should say, nigga, you didn't have to come and get the fries. You could have made your own fries. I didn't feel like doing it. Let me show you how fucked up. Let me show you how you can capitalize on inconvenience. Inconvenience is a frequency. And you package it in such a way that you're paying for the convenience, right? You get hungry, right? You drive to the store. You don't know what you want, so now you're trying to pick, right? You get to the drive-thru, you gotta wait. You get your food, you request your fresh shit or whatever the case may be. Even if you don't, you just order your food. Now you have the possibility of either getting fresh food or fucked up food. You get your food, you gotta drive home. On the way home, you eat half your fries. When you get home, you got probably like your burger and your drink left. You eat that, and now you're hungry again. Just like that. I'm gonna say you live close to all of the food places that you want to do. 10 minutes there, 10 minutes back. Sitting in the drive-thru line, another 10, 15 minutes. It's 35 minutes of time you've given yourself to be lost in a vibration of consistent interaction because it's convenient. When that same 35 minutes would have took the same 35 minutes to make French fries and a burger from home. Our vibration is so wired that convenience doesn't even let us see the logic anymore. Our vibration is so manipulated we can't even see the oneness in the world anymore. Divine oneness, we cannot. That law is going to miss us because we can't. If we can't see the. I know I'm going back and forth because I'm trying to find the right way to say this, because it's not like one law leads to the next and then like these two things work in a synergistic motion. Yes, law one, the divine oneness opens up for the law of vibration, but the law of vibration makes sure you can exhibit divine oneness as well. That's how all of them work. It works together. But the law of vibration shows that you're going to get caught in the frequency. That's it. And now every day you wake up, you're going to go drink your coffee. You're going to go do all this shit. Health, wealth, and relationship. They put us in a vibration to have bad health. They told you it's heredity. Oh, it runs in your family. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. This is a mind fuck. And if you catch on to what I'm saying with this, it'll fucking show you, it'll change your reality it'll change your reality and your perspective on how the law of vibration really works. Right? They tell you that disease, any kind of disease in your body, in your family, that runs in your family. If it was really in your family, you would not be able to stop it in your lifetime. I'm going to say that again. It's not the disease itself that is in your family. It is the vibration, the law of vibration that is in your family that creates the habit that makes it hereditary. Yes, it can be found in your genes. Now your genes are manipulated again according to how they are activated, turned on and turned off based off of the vibration that you're on. If you're going to eat and operate in a certain way, chances are you're going to eat the same way every day, right? You're going to eat what everybody else ate. You're going to eat the very shit and do the very activities that cause them to do this, to get this behavior and get this result. So all day long, it's going to be told to you or shown to you that this is all hereditary. It's not. The habit is hereditary. You eat the same food, you live the same lifestyle, you do the same thing as the people in your family. With reason. That's why it's culture. That's what it is. But how can it be broken if it's really that? Because what happens is the vibration changes. The vibration literally changes. So much so that if you're looking at the example of heredity, and people saying that this right here is passed down from generation to generation. Let's look at breast cancer. What they'll tell you is that breast cancer runs in women's families. Well, women, check to see if it's in your family. It's motherfuckers is like for breast cancer to be something that all women now have to check for. At some point, we have to all women have to check for breast cancer, right? This is where it's gonna get fucked up. It's gonna get dark, but I don't give a fuck. I gotta tell the truth. Breast cancer runs like they have breast cancer awareness. If breast cancer was hereditary, then it wouldn't be in a space where all women have the capacity to get it. So they're not going to tell you that we have you in a vibration that makes breast cancer possible. So much so that your breast cancers are coming from the aluminums of your deodorants. Whether it be Secret, Dove, whatever the case may be, there's aluminum in your deodorant. Chances are you use the same deodorant that your mama used. Chances are you use the same deodorant that your grandma used. Chances are you're going to make your daughter use that same deodorant. Not because you're going to make her, but because that's what you use. That's the vibration and the frequency that you on. More so, you're going to go through puberty at the same time. So when that puberty time comes, let me start getting you some deodorant because you're going to be musty. Where does deodorant go? Right underneath the armpit. The aluminum sits right within the lymph nodes and then it starts to metastasize into the breast. Breast cancer is not hereditary. It is vibrational. And because vibrational operates on a universal law, it appears to be hereditary because the vibration runs through generations because we're going to exhibit the same fucking behavior based off the vibration that we all operate under. By 50 years old, men should get the prostate checked because you might have prostate cancer. Why would I have prostate cancer? I don't know. Let's figure it out because we promoted sex to you for so long. We never told you that having orgasms is wrong. Having orgasms weakens your prostate. We're going to tell you the food that you eat. Not only that, we're going to tell you that you need to be on a low-fat diet. We're going to tell you not to put oils in your body, especially pumpkin seed oil. We're going to tell you not to put any oils in your bodies that are going to invigorate and stimulate your prostate. So much so, we're going to start encouraging you to have sex at such a young age that it just comes a rites of passage. So by the time you become an adult, whether you're having sex or you're watching porn and you're masturbating all the time, you're going to have a significant amount of orgasms that by the time you're 50, even in addition to the orgasms, your nutrition and all these things, by the time you're 50, it's going to appear as if that's in your family. No, the practice is in your family. The vibration is in your family. To be as promiscuous as you can, to get as many hoes as you can, because now you have to feel like a man by what? Having the amount of women that you have. They never told you that every orgasm you have is the equivalent of running 20 miles. It's the equivalent of energy release of nutrients and energy of running 20 miles. Your prostate would eventually die too. Your prostate will eventually go out too because it's being overused. Half of the shit, a high majority of the shit that they keep telling us is hereditary. It's not. It's vibrational. It's vibrational, my nigga. This is not to say that what's happening in our genetics isn't real, like these things. No, a lot of this shit, the genetics were already there. Now, because of this vibrational practice, it makes the genetic expression manifest itself. You feel me? When I seen a motherfucker say that, I was in a genetics class when they told me this, there's a fat gene. It can't be. It can't be. If there was a fat gene, fat motherfuckers couldn't lose weight. I don't know why it was just so it was so logical to me to see it. Well, that's judgmental. You can't just no. As a black man, I cannot change my blackness. I can't. Yeah, I can go get my skin lightened or whatever the case may be. But if I produced a child, that child is going to have my complexion. That's hereditary. That's genetic. It's either phenotype or genotype. There's something going on in the vibrational space that is altering that. You feel what I'm saying? If you are born with a fat gene, you shouldn't be able to lose weight. I know a lot of fat people that lost weight. A lot. I know a lot of obese people that lost weight, that lose weight daily. If you have a fat gene, there's no reason why you couldn't lose weight. I mean, there's no way that you should be able to lose weight if you have a fat gene. Somebody's lying. A lot of these genes that they keep talking about that people have that are, no, it's it's the vibrational environment that's making you like this. Now, because it affects you, because we got you in a vibration that is culture, it affects you, it affects your people, it affects your grandma, your great, it affects everybody the same fucking way. You think it's hereditary. It's not. It's vibrational. And now I have you operating within a frequency that's going to make sure this happens. It's not an accident, bro. It's not an accident, but they're using the law of vibration. A lot of people don't understand the law of vibration. So now it's like people say, I want the vibration. Like you have to literally change again, tying it back to constructive and destructive waves. You have to run interference. In order to stop a vibration, I'm going to say this and I'm about to start trying to wrap it up. In order to change a vibration or frequency, you have to run interference. You have to you have to establish a vibration that is opposite to what you're doing. So when people say, I just can't stop eating that fried chicken, I just you tell a motherfucker that's, oh, I got sick, I need to change my... Doctors will tell you to change your diet, but don't tell you to change the vibration of the nutrition that you consume. You literally have a whole food guide pyramid. That's like, what is it guiding you to? I ask people that shit all the time. What is the food guide pyramid guiding you to? What do you mean? It's supposed to tell you what to eat for a specific vibration. What is this vibration? Sickness, nigga. Again, capitalizing on the three things that this world, this country, and this world is now being consumed on. Your need to have a relationship, your need for health, and your need for wealth. These motherfuckers set up a vibration. It's a law at play that makes sure this shit works every time, which now allows for the systems to be developed. Because I'm going to put in something to make the frequency happen. This cycle per specific unit of time is going to keep happening over and over and over again. I'm going to make sure it happens because I'm going to create the input and output. I'm going to make the input and output. I'm going to make sure that motherfuckers are constantly doing exactly what I tell them to do. Nonstop. Forever. They'll never stop. Because it's a vibration. And now when you tell somebody that you can't do something now, when you have misconstrued, this is what I talk about. And I talked about this in previous episodes. When people have misinterpreted the understanding of the word can as versus permission versus ability, motherfuckers were telling you all the time, you have the permission to operate in this vibration. And you be thinking that it's the ability. And your ability shuts down and make you get lost into this vibration. You know how many times a child hears no before they're 4 years old? You would think that no should be a child's first word. But children have been neutralized from the jump. Before you're even able to enter the school system, I'm going to go ahead and establish permission within you so that your ability dies and you don't know the difference between the two. I'm going to tell you everything you can't do. But I'm going to make it so that it's all permission. So that way you can behave. I'm going to create a vibration in which you behave a certain way. And I'm going to make you think you're smart for behaving well. Like a fucking animal. We be looking at it like, oh, my kid's so smart. My kid this, that, and third. That's not a good thing. Your kid is well behaved and well trained like a fucking animal. So much so, I don't even need to put your child on a leash. When your child comes to school, this is like certain things we don't realize we're in a vibrational space where we're treated like animals, bro. Because we can talk. Because we can think. No, we can be educated. We can perform well. This is why a lot of you motherfuckers don't know the difference between being and performing. This goes into, why do good guys finish last? Good guys don't finish last, my nigga. Guys on good behavior finish last because they stop having behavior when they get comfortable. But they never had chance to develop anything within them that's off principle and moral. It's all off of behavior based off of vibration. This is why all these niggas is the same. This is why all these bitches is the same. It's the same shit, bro. It's the same shit. Look on social media. Social media is the perfect example where you can see the law of vibration. Everybody look the same. When it comes to women, everybody look the same. And the vibration is so fucked up that the standard of beauty is so fucked up that all the women want to look exactly like the same standard. Not all, of course, not y'all that are here if y'all ain't, but the contour noses, everything to the point where it's vibration. Men have been attracted to this vibration. Now you have a point where you can exploit the relationship with the shit. Health, wealth, and relationship. OnlyFans is popping. The average only. I was looking at it. I was listening to the statistics and shit. Somebody broke the shit down. The average, it's crazy. The average OnlyFans contributor, I would say, is a middle-aged married white man. Right? And when we look at what that stat is, it's like that shows the vibration that like the vibrational space that we're in is to be programmed to think like the average white man, bro. And I don't think we understand that shit. This is when I was talking about when they say, well, black women are the most educated women on the face of this earth, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, that may be well, but what vibration are you now stepping into? Education system doesn't teach you. It doesn't make you smarter. It puts you in a position where you at a new vibration. You at a specific vibration, a vibration they want you to be in. I don't think y'all get why they call classrooms. It's in the fucking name. The class. Classes have been, like, we have been divided into classes vibrationally since kindergarten, my nigga. When we look at special education, we think special education is just, retarded motherfuckers. No, it's the highly intelligent motherfuckers too, because now we're going to make sure you're all in separate vibrations. And now you get on social media and all these vibrations are unleashed together. There's no more separation. Y'all niggas shooting your shots at fucking females that used to bite people, bro. Women, y'all are actually going through whole DM conversation with motherfuckers who used to eat crayons. My nigga, vibration. Like, when did the vibration change? And now, when you get caught up in a vibration that is lower than yours, when you're supposed to be at a different space, you now intertwine with that vibration. When you was in school, I got a couple podcast episodes where I talked about this, where it was this new shorty that came to the school. When I was in high school, I had to be like 11th grade maybe, or whatever. Shorty bad, like she bad. And I'm like, yo, I'm macking and shit. I'm macking hard. I'm putting down my work on her and shit. I'm bagging her, like, you feel me? It ain't no ifs, ands, and maybes about it. I'm bagging her. And I bagged her. The bell ring and shit. She said, so you gonna walk me to my class? I was like, yeah, what class you at? She was like, I'm in the trailers. Whoa, no, I can't walk you to the trailers. Not on no funny shit, but classism. I'm already on a vibrational space of classism. Something's wrong with you. The school put you in the trailers, nigga. You feel me? I'm not saying you retarded. I don't know if you're retarded. You might be a functional member of society once you graduate from high school, whatever the case may be. If you even graduate correctly, you never know. They might just put you through and shit. We don't know this shit. We be seeing shit after post high school, nigga. It's niggas that went to college and shit that I know went to college that I know was in a slow class too. You feel me? It's battle rappers right now that were in special education, but they're fucking geniuses. You feel me? And I know it seemed like I was trying to roast slow people, but no, I'm saying they fuck up the classism. They create classism and they fuck up humanity because they now make sure you're going to operate on a certain vibration. Imagine being a genius, wordsmith, lyrical genius, and you were in a slow classes. You were in special education. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know how a captured genius really is? When they talk about the kids that are in the kids that have bad behavior, the kids that go to alternative schools, a high percentage of these motherfuckers are smart as fuck. They just overactive. And they transmute their energy a different way. But we have classism. This is just the classroom. Now, step back in the classroom starts the shit because now what we're going to do is formulate the vibration we want every child to be on at first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. I was in kindergarten. They wanted to skip me to the second grade. And my mama was like, nah, I want him to go through his developmental milestones. She was in education. She's always been in education. But as I look back on it, it's like developmental milestones. I was leagues ahead of these niggas. I should not have been in these classes. Like, in no way, shape, or form. I was beyond the classes that they kept trying to put me in. And I'm not saying this is a horn toot. I'm saying this is a reality because this happens all the fucking time. As black people, melanated people, are babies. When they're born, they do everything at a quicker curve. But the vibration says we're going to put the law of vibration in motion to make sure everybody is the same. In order to make sure that the recessive genetics is able to stand firm, we're going to pair it with the dominant genetics and make them meet in the middle. And we're going to class them. You can only be as strong as the weakest link. You can only be as strong as the weakest link. When we put the weakest link in the class with the strongest link and we infuse the law of vibration, we're going to make sure that the weakest link grows while the strongest link atrophies. Then we can build prisons. Then we can build prisons by third grade test scores, because we've already lost their, like, they weren't supposed to be in third grade when they was in the third grade. They were supposed to be ahead of that. But we have already dumbed them down to where now the people that we now need to catch up, make them catch up, they have caught up. And now they think they're smarter. Now they think they're like, this isn't a disrespectful thing. This is just the reality of what it is. You can't teach me, you can't show me in real time that the melanated baby eclipses all the other babies. But now when you put us all in the same class, somehow we get retarded? No, we're not supposed to be in a class with them. We're just not. And if you kept it segregated into different classes, you will see. It wasn't until integration when we started to realize I have every person that I know that has got an advanced degree says, you be thinking white people smarter than us. Well, I never thought that. But that generation was the first ones to go to college, get the degrees and shit. It was like, you be thinking white people smarter than us and they not. I never thought that. I knew they weren't. I was in classes with them. But they made us atrophy. They make us atrophy because of the classism. And then now we get moved into the special education classes. Because our minds were supposed to be so far ahead of them. This is why by 15 years old, they said we can still try him as an adult. Because he is. When they teach you that the frontal lobe doesn't develop until 25 years old, that may be true. But at the same time, that is everything that they teach you about the medical system, about the human body, all of this, the standard is recessive genetics. So now when you talk about, well, why are Caucasian women the standard of beauty? Why is the Caucasian the standard of humanity? Because you can only be as strong as your weakest link. If you're as strong as the strongest link, the weakest link disappears. I'm going to say that again. If you're as strong as the strongest link, if the standard is the strongest link, the weakest link can't keep up. You feel what I mean? But this is how the vibration works. We want everybody to be on the vibration of recessive genetics. That's the law at play right now. So now when you tell people, oh, I want you to get on my frequency, like, what is your vibration? It's not a flex. The vibrations that we on right now is not a flex. This is why when you're trying to teach people about African history or some shit, it's like, no, show me how it fits into the vibration. We be thinking it's the Matrix, nigga. The Matrix is a beautiful name for the shit, but it's the vibration. It's the law of vibration at play. The Matrix, I'm going to say this and I'm really going to wrap it up. The Matrix, the movie, the idea represents the law of vibration. You don't get out of the Matrix. You just don't. You tweak the laws of vibration. You tweak how the vibration is going to affect you and how you got to know what the vibration is. You feel me? This is why I study the way that I study and I learn the way that I learn. I knew this. If you ever seen some of the old episodes, like, knowledge is power. He or she who has the more knowledge than you has more power than you because they can create the vibration that makes you think. They can create the vibration they want you to stay on. I want you to stay in this poverty-stricken vibration. I want you so much so that I'm going to make you like black people. We have glorified poverty so motherfucking much that motherfuckers want to be impoverished. I'm hood. I'm from the street. No, you're not. You're not. You're from an affluent neighborhood. You ain't have to worry about getting robbed. You don't live with the roaches and the rats. You don't know nothing about this shit. Don't come over here. Poverty is painful, my nigga. If poverty is painful, that means, oh, that's a bar. If poverty is painful, that means trauma is perpetual. If poverty is painful, trauma is perpetual. And the trauma that is perpetual is designed to keep you in a space, keep you in a mental space where everything else vibrationally can be controlled. I know how to vibrationally keep you locked into poverty. I'm going to poorly educate you. You feel me? I'm not going to give you good jobs and good resources. You feel what I'm saying? All the free shit that I give you is not going to serve you a benefit. So much so that I'm going to make you pay into free shit. And in paying into this free shit, it's not going to give anything back. You give 10% to your church every single Sunday. You get late on a bill, you ask your pastor for help. You got to pray about it. Sister, you got to pray about it, brother. That's a problem. I only knew one pastor in my life who would actually help his congregation. One. I knew one. But then you have another set asking for $40,000. Just because I can extend it and ask multiple people about it because the congregation's so big, it don't mean that shit. That don't mean shit. Deities don't need your money. The humans that are exploiting the deities in your mind need to. Now I'm going to create the vibration that makes you feel like all of this shit is going to give you some real estate in heaven. And if you Christian and shit, you're going to get 10 virgins as a man. Who the virgins going to be? Ladies. In Islam, you get 70 virgins or some shit like that. Who the virgins going to be? Ladies. This is going to go into the law of correspondence, as above, so below, as with them, so loud. You wonder why motherfuckers feel entitled to having multiple women. Y'all, we in a vibration. The matrix is the vibration, and is the vibration which creates the frequency of what you are. The law of vibration has to be at play because everything moves in a circular motion. And I didn't even get to the point that I really wanted to talk about the spirals. You have things that spiral up and spiral down. That's where benefit and detriment comes in. Everything stays in perpetual motion. But either you spiral up or you spiral down. And they teach you how to stay spiral down. Either spiral down or spinning circularly. You feel me? Lost in insanity or spiraling up or spiraling down. That's how you break sanity. That's how you break insanity, right? When you are in that space where your frequency has been manipulated, tainted, and caught into somebody else's paradigm, you're not getting out of the shit. You're not. Like, it's because you have to understand the frequency that you got to get out of. It's not just being smart. Ooh, fuck with me when you ain't on my frequency. Fuck with me when you get off your root chakra. Nigga, ain't none of y'all off your root chakra. Now, when we add the chakras into the shit, when you get out of survival, now you have to get to the sexuality. That's the second chakra. They have already created a system that makes you, that vibrates you into homosexuality. Now, from that chakra, you now have personal identity, which is solar plexus. They have already put you into a vibrational space where they control your personal identity. So much so, you don't know who you are. You know what you do, and you define yourself by what you do. And if you ain't doing nothing, you ain't shit. Niggas have gone to prison they have received felonies and they've gone to prison. Now they define themselves as a felon. You are now going to move forever in a vibrational space, the vibrational mentality of a felon. That's your frequency. You're going to interact with felons. You're going to feel like you can only do street shit. You're going to do certain things. Like this place won't hire felons. Nigga, everybody's a felon in some way, shape, or form. Everybody just didn't commit the crime. Everybody committed something. But at the same time, because you have not been caught and you still labeled as innocent, you have not defined yourself as a criminal. You just have not defined yourself as a criminal. But that's the vibrational space. We want to make sure that nobody can deviate. Anybody who does deviate, chances are we're going to find a way to make it a crime. They're going to do something criminalistic at some point. Not because they fucked up or bad people, but at some point you're going to do something that deviates. And it's going to morally make you feel like something's wrong with you because we have vibrationally told you what your morals are supposed to be. We have vibrationally told you what class you're supposed to be in. We have vibrationally told you which way you're supposed to spiral up. This is why niggas is always spiraling out of control. You feel what I'm saying? Imagine, I'm really going to break it down right here. This is the last gamut to show you how it's all in play. The law of vibration right now. You're born. You go to the hospital. Get your umbilical cord cut. They're already synchronizing you into, like, that moment is already synchronizing you into a universal vibration. What does that do? Once you cut the umbilical cord, the moment that a baby comes out of the mother's womb, you sever that tie. What people don't understand about an umbilical cord has veins, arteries, and nerves in it to make sure that the baby and the mother can connect to one another. The mother feeds nutrition back and forth through the umbilical cord. That is severed. After 9 months of darkness, I come into the light and have my connection immediately cut from my mom the day I come in. That's a vibration. Everybody goes through it. Boys are naturally already, boys experience trauma before girls ever do. Nobody realizes that. Boys experience sexual trauma before women do, simply because boys have circumcisions. Likely before we leave the hospital. Can't give a baby anesthesia. You ever got a paper cut, my nigga? I'm not saying a circumcision feels like that. A paper cut will make you almost cry. The baby, no anesthesia, no nothing. Just coming out of the womb. Boys get fucking circumcisions off the rip. Vibration. We're creating a cycle. All people are going through this. Well, it's biblical. The Bible says do this, that, and the third. The Bible also says don't mutilate your body. You can't do it. It can't be both. As an adult, you're not supposed to be getting tattoos and shit because it mutilates your body. But as a newborn baby, you're supposed to get the foreskin of your penis cut off. That's mutilation. I don't know why y'all niggas don't get it, but when you're in a vibration, you can't see it, which is a matrix. You feel what I'm saying? Off rip. Not even a week, 2 days old, we're already severed from our parents and boys are already traumatized. Now, when you go back to that episode about YNs and shit, when I talk about black boys, black women are not protected because black boys are not respected. Right? But black boys are traumatized before anybody else even gets to them. Our sexual organs are traumatized. These foreskins are used for rituals. I'm not even going to talk about that part because that's a whole different sorcery that has to deal with that, the whole system. Right? But now, after that, mama goes back to work. And now she's stressed. She has to go through whatever it is that she has to go through on a regular basis. Now she can't connect to me. I've already been disconnected from the umbilical cord. As a girl, I've already been disconnected from the umbilical cord in a world where women are already made in competition with each other. I better not be more beautiful than my mama. I just better not be more beautiful than my mama, or even as beautiful as her, because then she gonna think I'm feeling myself. Now, mind you, I haven't even grown yet. I haven't even learned to talk. The boys, I've already been mutilated. From jump. And this keeps going on. This is our cycle. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to skip ahead. Fast forward. Pre-K. No, Head Start. I wanted you to get it. Like, I want my child to have the advantages that I never had, so I'm going to put him in Head Start. Everything that we started off, oh, this is an advantage. It doesn't become an advantage whenever it's not an advantage if everybody's being advantageous with it. It stops being an advantage. Head Start used to be a point for you to get, ahead. It's like, no, that's not an advantage when you have a whole classroom of Head Starters. They made you feel like you're getting a head start. A head start in what? A head start in being indoctrinated into the law of vibration that we want you to have. So now you go into the vibration. Now you go into kindergarten. Mind you, let's stick to the black babies because I'm black. And that's what it is. These babies, melanated babies, advance ahead of time. They walk first, talk first, crawl first, everything. Now we move into Head Start. How do you need a Head Start when you're already ahead? Mind fuck, right? Who is this a Head Start for? We want the kids who weren't able to do the necessary shit early to finally interact with people who could. And now we're going to start to neutralize and calibrate everybody the same way. Head Start, Pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. These things are all cyclic. Now we're creating classes. Now, in addition to the classes that we're actually creating in real time in the classroom, now you're creating these classes in conjunction with the environment in which you grow up in. Poverty, middle class. Yeah, poverty, wealth, and middle class. Middle class is really just an illusion. Middle class are the people that are most easily wrapped up into the vibration. But they think it's, as long as I'm not poor, I can still become wealthy at some point. Wealth is a vibration, my nigga. Wealth is a vibration. It's not an amount of money. It's a vibration that you have to continually be on every single day. You're not on a vibration of wealth. That's why it's hard to break. You feel what I'm saying? That's why it's hard to get out of. But now, I have these kids coming from these different backgrounds all into the same class. I'm creating a class. I'm creating the classes that I want the world to live in. First grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. By third grade, we're building prison test scores because now taking it back to the kids that were already vibrationally, they were already ahead. Now we vibrationally slowed them down to make others speed up so that everybody is normal. Now we're going to start putting them in we're going to start putting them in special ed because they're supposed to be ahead of what they are. They're supposed to be ahead of what they are. The reason why they're not ahead of what they are, because we intentionally slowed them down to speed ourselves up. Because, recessive genetics and shit. You feel what I'm saying? That's the vibration. That's the vibration. So by third grade, we're already building test scores because we already know they're already ahead. Now we're going to start diagnosing, oh, you got attention deficit disorders. No, I am in the wrong class. If I sat up first as a baby, the curve's been exponential, my nigga. I should have been like, this is why when you see shit like Tamir Rice getting killed because they mistaken for, they knew by 12 years old, we're already mentally, genetically at a whole different level, but we're vibrationally stuck somewhere. So we're trying to see ourselves the way that they see us. And we know that, like looking at the Tamir Rice example, we know Tamir Rice, we know the Trayvon Martins, we know those were little boys in our minds, in our culture, but in their algorithm, in their law of the universe being used, a vibration, they can look and say, we know what you're supposed to be, and we don't give a fuck that you're not it. So we're going to see it how we choose to see it because of the way our vibration is. So now as the vibration goes on, we build in prisons according to the test scores, blah, blah, blah. We're now making you mentally retarded. We're making you mentally retarded by making ourselves speed up. So by the time you get to 5th, 6th, 7th grade and shit, you've already been slowed down enough to now the playing field is finally even academic wise. But you have already been so far back that you never had to try in the beginning and you didn't. Now things are now moving a certain way. So now as the class keeps going on, now we're getting to where we graduate. Classes continue. Did you go to college? Okay, your class gets cut off at a high school diploma. Okay, no, fuck that. You dropped out at 16. You're in a whole different class of your own. We created this class already. We vibrationally created the classes that we want to have. It's programmed already, nigga. You 16 years old, you were already wired to be who you're supposed to be by the time you were 7. Because the personal identity of a child, psychologically is developed by 6 years old. We already got you. Now we're just putting the icing on the cake and we're creating what? The cycle. To make the spiral happen the way we need to. Are you going to spiral up or are you going to spiral down? And that's going to be based off of your environment, the culture that you live in at home, what's being brought to you, the family background. We're going to make it seem like it's hereditary. No, nigga, it's vibrational. And either you're going to be vibrational from poverty or you're going to be vibrational from wealth. And you're going to be exploited in some way, shape, or form. You're going to be exploited under the law of the vibration, but it's still going to be at play. And whether you know it's in violation or not, your free will is able to be used. You can choose which school you go to. You can choose. And one of the things that they've done, I want my kids to go to the best school. So we moved our kids out to go to the best schools, which is the white schools if we wanted them to, or we kept them in the hood or whatever the case may be. But I want my kid to go to the best school. So I'm going to move to the white neighborhoods. And now your kid don't even like being black no more. Integration. That was the vibration that we're going to kill these niggas, bro. They're not even going to know they ain't black no more. They're not even going to know what it is to originally be how black they were. Because now we're going to use the law of vibration to synchronize them into destroying themselves. So now we fast forward, graduate from, say you drop out at 16, because that's when the time starts. That's when the classes start becoming divided. 16 is when you're able to drop out. You can, be an emancipated minor, whatever the case may be. All of this shit is in motion to create the vibration. 16, boom, you got that. Now you're going to graduate. 18, you graduate. 18 to 19, you graduate high school. Now you got a diploma. You're different from the dropout, but you're not quite the college student yet. You're still, quote unquote, at a better class, than the dropout. You feel me? The dropout now has to be a criminal because I ain't got no skills. Don't have the education, which means I didn't have the skills. Now, at least I got the education. I can get the skills because I got a high school diploma. Now I go on to college. Now, do you get your associate's degree or do you get your bachelor's? That creates a different class. Associate's degree and a bachelor's degree are two totally different classes. Now, the associate's degree that says I'm going to get my bachelor's degree, now he or she steps into two different classes because now you have a different experience. The bachelor's degree without the associate's, it's still a bachelor's degree, but you still have a different experience because you go from, I'm leaving my small community to go into a bigger space, or whatever the case may be, still likely to be in my same state, go off of a different way. Now that's bachelor's degree. Then it's like, do I want to keep going? Now I'm walking into a new class because master's degree is different from bachelor's degree. Motherfuckers with master's degrees thinking they something totally different. It's different shit. Different shit. Now you have the master's degree. Now do I go into my PhD? It's totally different. Now the PhD is just a doctorate, but it doesn't necessarily make you the doctor that people think that's traditionally the doctor. And then you have the three high pinnacles where you have law, you have medicine. Well, just law and medicine, really. Those are the two pinnacles. The reason why I said three, because it's like doctor, lawyer, and dentist. Those are the three basically top jobs. But then there's that echelon of class. Doctors and lawyers. That's it. Go back to Nas, I Know I Can. Doctor, lawyer, know at least one you could be. Why is that the pinnacle? Because that is the pinnacle of the classism. Strive to see who's going to be better, but we're not going to tell you that this entire system is not teaching you shit. It is educating you to perform a fucking task, and only the strong survive. Only the ones who don't get mentally challenged or don't go through the mental health illnesses and shit along the way, who don't get you get knocked off. And now when we add trauma into the bitch, now it changes. When COVID hit, and then what the shit is going on right now, a lot of people are looking like, oh, why are black people just not? We're used to this shit because y'all are finally experiencing the trauma that we've always experienced. The system, the vibration, the law of vibration that is in play is to traumatize black people. It's to live in a space where the benefit is through traumatized black people. Because we can build everything we want off of that structure. And now the world is experiencing what black people already experienced, and we're used to it. How do you guys function and deal with it? We're used to the shit. We know the vibration that we're in without knowing that it's a vibration. So tying it back in to the education system and going as the education rolls up, when it gets to that point where the higher you go, you're still forgetting the fact that you're in an entire vibration that wants you to think a certain way to push a certain system ahead. So spinning it back full circle, when they say black women are most educated, they are the most bound and the most disrupted internally by the law of vibration, which means your oneness is off. This is why there's a direct correlation between the most educated black women, the ones with the masters, the ones with the PhDs, which is very ironic. The ones that masters, the ones with the PhDs, the one with the doctorates, how they're so heavily religious. It's not an accident. It's not an accident. So much so that you can't even put your own. It's humility. Got to operate from the vibration of humility to where now everything you do has to be permission based. Everything you do is not your own power. And they wonder why black women can't be accountable. Could you be accountable if you had if you put everything that you succeeded, everything that you achieved on the deity? Why would you be accountable for the negative shit that happens in your life? Because everything positive wasn't nothing but the deity. Forget the times you studied, forget the work that you put in, and that's the vibration they wanted everybody on, especially black people. If you believe in an external deity as the source of your good and your bad, your highs and your lows, and you don't realize that you have any ounce of connection to that, you're going to violate the law of oneness. And I can use the law of oneness on you. In addition to that, now that I'm using the law of oneness on you, now I can use the law of vibration on you, and I can control your vibration. And I can control how the oneness is now at play in your life. And if I can control how the oneness is at play, I can create the vibration to create the correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. And don't forget to check out Pala Cafe Clothing, formerly Just Scenes merch,
Get all of your intricate designs crafted specifically for the melanated being to develop a positive imagery within self and to have a little bit of fun in the process. From the peace, love, knowledge, and freedom to the dead horses and water designs, all of the styles are crafted for the imagery to make you feel as you're supposed to feel. Because as I always say, the best way to fit in is to stand out. And what better way to stand out than with your exclusive styles from Paula Cafe Clothing.
And I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. That's the law of vibration. You feel me? I want my people to know what the fuck is happening to us as a whole. Like that, I just broke down. Like that's the education system, my nigga. Like my nigga, that's the education system, bro. Like that's just K through 12. I didn't even go into judicial system. I didn't even go into the healthcare system. I like all of these things are laws of vibration. Laws of vibration that you don't understand is a vibration. You think this is society, my nigga. This is the way things are supposed to be. No, these are the way things are. These are the way that things are made to be. This is a vibration that we are stuck in. This is a reality that we're choosing to live in. This is a circumstance that we will not get out of simply because we don't want to acknowledge the vibration that we stuck in. We wonder why, like, it's like black people, we pride ourselves. It's a 1-to-1 thing. We can't pride ourselves on being raised in the church and then be mad when our kids are humble and don't want to go off and be anything better than, be better than me. I can't be better than you if I gotta be humble. I gotta be more humble than you. Think about that. You raise a child under a religious doctrine and you say, yo, I want my child to be better than me, but all your life you told them that they have to be more humble than you. You didn't even achieve none of the shit that you wanted to achieve. You didn't go nowhere. You didn't take your mind nowhere that you needed it to go. You stayed in a bubble. You stayed humble. And now you want your children to be better than you? They're going to be better at being humble. And it eventually gets to a point where poverty is going to continue. Because now it's like, I have to be more insignificant than my parent. I have to be more insignificant than the person that's guiding me. I have to do exactly what they tell me to do. And now what are you guiding me into? A new vibration. A new vibration. And because they wrote it in a text that makes you feel like it's all real, you feel me? Train a child in the way they should go. Now you misinterpret it. Now you have a vibration. Case in point, one vibration that we stuck in is spare the rod, spoil the child. And niggas didn't even know what that shit meant. Just beat your babies. You'll know when a vibration is at play when it's a cliche answer. Ask somebody about anything. And if they give you the cliche answer, it's almost like a knee-jerk response. You didn't even have to think about the response, but you had that answer to it. That's a vibration. That's a vibration. And vibration is the matrix. That is a law of vibration at play. It is a cycle. There's a frequency. There's something that is going to happen again and again and again and again and again. You feel me? So much so that when you see the vibration being violated, you still choose to stay into it. Case in point, the movie Soul Food. The mama got her leg cut off. Was it her arm? No, she burnt her arm and put butter on it. But she got her leg cut off. And then she eventually died. From what? Eating soul food. And what did they do after she died? I mean, it is the name of the movie. Oh, it's because it's family togetherness and this, that, and the third. Family together. Like, this is one of the things I had gotten into it with a person one time because I just started eating one day. You're not going to pray for your food? I don't eat food that needs to be prayed for. Fuck. That's rude. It's not rude. It's rude for you to assume that you could just say what the fuck ever to me because of your affiliation with some shit. And now that I said something back, it made you think, and now it fucked up your reality. Now you looking stupid asking me why I didn't quote unquote bless my food. I don't need food that needs to be blessed. I don't eat food that needs to be blessed. Like, think about this shit. What is the prayer? You feel me? I know it because I used to say it. Heavenly Father, thank you for the food we are to receive for the nourishment of our mind, body, and soul. And it's the food that is giving us cancer. We're literally praying and acknowledging and thanking for we're calling the cancers and shit that we're receiving nourishment of our mind, body, and soul. So much so that when you get diagnosed with some shit and the doctor says, hey, you need to stop eating this shit, or I just can't. I got to keep having it. I got to have that fried chicken. I got to have this. I got to have that. You are stuck in that vibration and you can't get out of this shit. So you're literally acknowledging, you know what? I cannot stop doing what I know is killing me. So I'm going to pray that I get healing from what's killing. And I know it's killing, but I felt like rhyming. Think about that shit, bro. I'm praying to be healed by what's killing me. The vibration is so real that niggas don't even think that that's what's happening. The vibration is such at play. This is how vibration really works. This is the law of vibration, the frequency. This is what the fuck it is. People be thinking that they're consciously aware of frequencies. No. You can be consciously aware all day long. The unconscious part of the shit, the unconscious part of the mind is which is buried into is where the delusion comes in, because you will literally say, I'm going to pray that the food that I know is killing me is going to heal me. That's crazy. That's crazy, my nigga. That's crazy. And when the motherfucker like tells me, oh, you're insane because you do, like, nigga, who's really insane? What's the real? A motherfucker would say that I'm lost in insanity because I've been told this. I was lost in insanity because I was breaking a vibration until they seen the vibration break. It's like you're doing something, but you're not producing the necessary reward. You're not producing the result. That instant gratification shit, you're not seeing that I'm changing the vibration. I have to change what I knew that I had to do. I had to change the entire vibration to make sure that it resonates through my bloodline. It got to start with me. You know, a vibration, how many vibrations I had to break? You know how many laws? These laws are at play. You cannot stop them. The law is going to work 100% of the time. You have to figure out how to tweak the law in order to keep working a way that's different from where you at. You see what I'm saying? I want my kids in a whole different vibration. I don't want them to even come up in the space where they have to realize, and this is why we get stuck in our realities and our systems, because we try to take the same vibration that's failing us and succeed with it. And we can't figure out why we're failing. You're doing good at failing. That's all. You're following a process of failing good. Why do black people, when they get wealth and shit, they eventually either marry off white or they go broke? Because there's a vibration that they're being programmed to that you don't have this vibration in your environment. You don't have this vibration in your neighborhood. Your environment is designed to be in poverty. So you have to come with ours. We don't realize that it's a vibration. Why do black men get on with white women? Now the black women are marrying the white men. Why? Because there's the vibration there. There's a vibration in place that says you cannot be prosperous with your own people. Because the education system saw to it that it worked that way. And black people will encourage it all day long. You can't get mad at the motherfucker. The same motherfuckers who would say, and I hear it from women all the time, so I'm using it. The same motherfuckers who would say, he get on and then he leave for a white girl, will be similar people who would say, I don't support black business. Nigga, why? Do you not see the programming? Do you not see the vibration that you stuck in? Vibration ain't just some, oh, we smart, we think the same, or we read the same books. Show me your vibration, I'll show you who control you. You show me your vibration, I'll show you what controls your mind. Because I know what's going to entertain you. I know what you're going to like. I know what you're going to see. I know what mental age bracket you're staying in. I know where your trauma's hit. I know when the trauma hit you based off of the vibration that you stuck in. You feel me? Watching TV and movies, show me which characters you identify. I can show you which vibration you stuck in. Because it goes back to vision. What you can see within your mind is what you exhibit in your reality. When we get to the law of correspondence, you're going to see how the shit builds. We only 2 laws in. All 12 are at play every single day, and they're using all 12 at play on the universe. Just from the law of divine oneness and the law of vibration, you can see how bad they are fucking us up. When I tell y'all that emasculation is when you take away a man's ability to analyze and deconstruct his motherfucking world. When I tell y'all that that's what emasculation is. A lot of people be thinking that, I'm reaching. Nah, this is why you had to take that away. Because now when we start to strip all of that, now you can't analyze and deconstruct your fucking law of vibration. Now you can just use your women to synthesize and enhance the vibration that we have here. This is why the purpose is to remove when they say remove the man out of the home, it's to remove the father out of the home. But it's to remove the masculinity. And by removing the masculinity, what you end up doing is you take away that critical thought and you provide emotional feeling. There's no critical thought. There's just emotional feeling. And now we're building on that. Keep our women in survival mode. Keep our men out of the home. And make sure motherfuckers is humble. You feel me? There's so many other vibrations that we have put under. There's frequencies and shit. And then we just bring our kids into the shit. By 5 years old, our boys automatically assume they all bad. You feel me? A motherfucker can get hurt and not cry. And they'll say, oh, that motherfucker bad because he don't cry. Nah, it didn't hurt me. But then you want the emotional motherfucker that cries all the time. And look at how the programming ends up working out. The tough kids, oh, chances are you're going to be a criminal. But the little soft, timid boys, nah, you're not really going to be. But they're not realizing that our sexual organs we started off on some mutilation shit. What do you think happens when you clip off the foreskin of a penis, bro? It's not an accident. It's not an accident. They set something up that is beyond what we can comprehend. Because it stores in the nervous system whether we know it's in there or not. So now when I'm wondering, why do men want to fuck everything? You wonder why? Did you have to ask? But this shit long as fuck, bro. And I can keep going on the law of vibration, but I need to save some of this shit for the lower correspondence because we got to get into it. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure to eat their vegetables. And our sons and our kids, the vibration is up to you. Heredity is the law of vibration at play. You ain't got to believe me. You just got to observe the shit. Because again, as I said, if it really was heredity, you wouldn't be able to change it. Because it is what it is. But when you can start changing hereditary behavior by creating a new vibration, by honoring the law, and it's not simply just changing habits or whatever. No. You have to get into a whole new vibration. That means that shit has to change for you. Can't even think the same no more. Which means you now have to wire yourself the way you've been wired since you was in kindergarten. They've been doing this to you since you was in kindergarten, Head Start, pre-K. And now they got tablets for our babies. And we just give them to them. Send them to class, send them to school to learn new information from their friends, and now they coming back home doing the same shit that they learning from the friends that we know nothing about. They're in a class of 22 motherfuckers, we know 2 or 3 of their friends. Vibration, my nigga, it's at play all day long. You can either choose to see it, or you can choose to act like the bitch don't exist. But this motherfucker is being used on your ass, and it's not going to be violated because of your free fucking will. That's the power of all of this shit. You can change it whenever you want to. You just gotta be able to deal with the consequences and develop what comes after that. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables, and I'm gonna see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.